Hello there, good morning and welcome to Full Circle. I am Tamima, thank you so much for joining us. It is a glorious Friday and we are here with a packed show ready to uplift your morning. I'm here with DJ Sadiq. DJ Sadiq, habari asubuhi?
Good morning. Niko fiti huko aje?
It's chilly out here lakini naona uko...
It's still lakini set inakaa fiti.
And
Sindio?
And of course we have DJ Carrion on the decks. Should I turn like DJ Carrion? Hi.
Hi.
He's the genius on the decks today.
Yes.
And then also introducing our guest this morning, we have Ken Gasheru. So we're just going to kick off the show, and today we want to inspire you. We want to talk about something that a lot of people really do struggle with. I'm sure you've heard the expression that you can have it all, but just not at the same time. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree.
That you can have it all, but just not at the same time?
Timing.
Timing
is the key factor.
Okay, so can I represent a majority of our viewers? No, why can't I have it all at the same time? Ken, please tell us, why can't I have it all at the same time?
Because the way God has ordered everything is that everything grows at certain times, and God calls things beautiful at His own time. So there's the element of time. So as long as you have to achieve so many things, you have to employ time. There's time to start, there's time to grow, there's time to get to accomplish everything. So time has to be there.
So what you're basically saying is that my dreams are valid,
yes.
Number one.
Yes.
But you just have to have the patience,
yes,
of understanding that it does take time.
It's a process.
For things to come to fruition.
Yes.
Yes. So in the context of that, how then are you able to perhaps be a bit more, what's the word, planning yourself? Because you could decide kama Sadiq hapa yeni DJ, yeni msanii, yeni actor, he's a businessman.
Right.
So how can he prioritize TV host?
Hizo zimetosha for now.
At this rate. So how do you prioritize and ditch what is not serving you?
I believe DJ Sadiq began with one thing, and then he mastered it, and then after he mastered it, then other things continued growing. So the problem might come in when you want to become all these things and copy-paste DJ Sadiq in one day. You realize you'll fail terribly. But when you begin with one mountain and you achieve it, then after you get to the top of the hill, you now look at what's next. So the question is, what do you want to achieve right now? When you identify it, you work towards it, and then after you get it now, other things come into being.
And maybe just to contextualize that, and using Sadiq as the example. So Sadiq, you're all those things.
Yes.
And if you listen to what Ken is telling us, and maybe just to teach others, were you able to come to everything at once, or truly like what he's saying aligns with how you arrived to being the multitasker that you are?
I think just like he mentioned, it's progressive, and most of the time you find one thing opens a door for another. But everything didn't come at the same time. I didn't know I could, for example, host a TV show. I could DJ, but slowly someone believes in you, gives you a platform, you realize, I can do this. Tamima gives you another platform, you realize, I can plan an event, for example. So I think every career or everything that someone does should be progressive, and you should maybe have a target that by the end of this year I want to do this. It's easier to accomplish them other than trying to do everything either within 1 month or within 2 months. So for me, I started out as an artist, you remember? Yeah, then DJing, ikakuja, then pole tukaingia kwa hosting. So it's progressive, but you have to pace yourself and give yourself that time to grow.
Okay, so we're talking about now in the context of your career, and I'm very curious because sometimes it can be easy to create boundaries for yourself.
Yes.
But it might be difficult to create boundaries with other people.
Exactly.
That other people might feel that, hey, you need to do this and do this now.
Exactly.
So how do you stick to your own timeline?
When I look at a dream, I think a dream is like a baby. And I have seen some parents out here, when you get a baby, you don't take pictures and allow everybody to touch him. For some time, you allow the baby to just be privately owned by the parent. Then after some time, you can now allow everybody to take pictures with the baby. So for this dream, you have to allow boundaries, especially before it becomes whatever you want it to become. Allow people to know that there are boundaries. This is how far we can go with you. This is the amount of information I will allow you to know about Genius Records. This is the amount of information I will allow you to know about Fearless International, which is what I do. So you have to ensure there are boundaries with your dream at the stage that you are in, because there are people who bring in interruptions and you realize you'll not be able to achieve what you're doing. So ensure that there are boundaries, and let the boundaries be clear, that this is how far you can come. Beyond this, you're not allowed. I've seen these with office petitioning. There are rooms that are written out of bound.
Right.
All right?
Staff only.
Staff only. You know, you go to restaurants, their kitchen side, they write, you know, staff only, because probably people might get in. So allow your dream to have boundaries. And also with family. Sometimes family come in, so, you know, we are related by blood, so I need to know everything about you. When you get there and you don't have boundaries, you'll mess it up.
And you know, you've mentioned family, and that's a very interesting one. And I'm sure for a lot of people who are considered successful,
Yeah.
In whichever way or form. And this is the reality that sometimes you have to let people go.
Exactly.
That you have people, friends for a reason,
Yes.
season,
Yes.
and a lifetime.
Right.
And that expression really goes hand in hand with you can have it all, just not at the same time.
Yes.
So when it comes to relationship, how can people deal with the fact that sometimes to grow, you have to sacrifice some relationships?
One of the relationships that is hard to let go is family. But this is what I tell people. You may be related by blood, but you're not related thought-wise. My idea and your idea might be very different in as much as the same blood group runs in our systems. So what I want to achieve has nothing related with blood. So I have to realize, if you are for me, if you are thinking like me, then we can tag along and do what we can do together. But if your thought process is way away from what I'm thinking, then I know we are not going to achieve anything. So how do you protect your dream from relationships? I think it begins from having a meeting with yourself and analyzing your dream. This is what I want to achieve. These are the kind of people who can help me. And if these people cannot help me, then you just let them go, because why do you need to have people around you who cannot help you? Yeah.
For sure. And I'm curious, has anyone ever been in such a situation here where you've literally had to put that into action in your life?
For me, it was not family, but it was another relationship, the boy-girl relationship.
And those can be very distracting, eh?
Very distracting. I had this girl, beautiful, intelligent, but she was not as patient as I would have wanted her to be. So there was this thing I was trying to build at that time. Very many years ago, it was a movie shop. I was trying to make sure that this movie shop becomes the talk of the town. But you know, she comes one day, she expects me to buy her pizza from the job. She expects me to take her out on movies. She was not very patient. So I realized, you know, if you're going to continue demanding all these things, na pia unaitisha fare from this from this business, it might not grow to fruition.
Right.
So sometimes you just let them go.
Right.
Yes.
And the business grew, I want to believe.
It grew. It grew by
It was
God's
a worthy
grace.
sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing, when you say that you can have it all, but just not at the same time. I'm curious, what is your personal experience? Please get on the SMS line on your screen. Let me know if you have any questions on this particular topic.
Yep.
Now, sometimes when it comes to dreams, because like you've had, you know, you might want to be a good wife, you might want to be a good friend, you might want to be a good sister, a good daughter, a good business person, a good employee, a good mother. And this is something that a lot of people really struggle with, imposter syndrome. Because the reality is that we all serve so many different masters in our lives.
Yes.
So sometimes you might find that maybe career-wise I'm thriving, but as a parent I'm struggling.
Yes.
So how do you deal with that imposter syndrome? And especially women really struggle with this one.
Be you. Like the best version of yourself is you. The more you try to be like everybody else, you might fail. And begin by recognizing that I have my strengths and I have my weaknesses. When you begin by analyzing yourself in terms of strengths and weaknesses, then you choose your struggles, right? There are things you'll not get into if you're very terrible at, unless you're getting into them to learn. Now, I don't know how to deal with it from the women perspective, but let me advise from a man's perspective. Choose your battles wisely, right? I don't want to start DJing because DJ Sadiq is DJing, because when I go to scratch those things, I might be very terrible at that. But if I choose my struggle wisely, then I'll be able to perform very well at that. So don't pretend to be somebody you're not. Start by accepting this is who I am, this is what I can do, and this I cannot do. And when you begin from there, then it becomes easier to carry on the conversation and achieve your dreams.
What about this one? And I'm sure everyone here has been through that at some point in their life or career, whereby you look around you And you know, there are people who you might be on the same track, maybe destination not necessarily identical, but you're on the same track. Yani mulianza pamoja. And then there's usually that feeling like, why are my peers ahead of me? I'm looking, my peers are driving, they are buying houses, wanaenda vacation Dubai. Where the last time ulitoka Nairobi haukumbuki. So how do you also reconcile with that?
By understanding time. Like today you might not be there, but as you continue working towards that, one day you will get there. This morning as I was driving coming here, I realized there was another car, ilikuwa ina car yangu, tulikuwa tunakuja pamoja. And something told me, because number plates zinakaribiana, na gari zinafanana, probably we might vibe. But kuna mali tulifika tu along a junction, nikaona amechukua another turn, alright? Na wakati alienda nikaona ni kama amefika mahali alikuwa anaenda. And I knew I had to go, my journey is a bit longer. So there are people who might be ahead of you, but guess what? Now in the next 2-3 months, wamefika mahali walikuwa naenda. So you might be very behind, but your journey is long, and where you're going is even farther. So allow time, understand time, and with the fulfillment of time, everything is going to be beautiful.
I also think comparison pia ina kill a lot of dreams. Because you look at someone and the match they've achieved, and sometimes like Tamima said, you look at someone you started together with, unaona ameenda sana na wewe ni kama bado una delay. So I think we should not compare our journey with other people's journeys. We should just, like I said, pace ourselves and trust the process, and know that in due time what God has planned for us will definitely come through.
And also I remember when I was in school, my primary school, I had a friend who was in class 7 when I was in class 4. And something told me, this guy is ahead of me. But guess what? When he got to class 8, he dropped out. All right? I may have been so much behind him, but by God's grace, with time, I was able to accomplish much more than him. So today is a class 8 dropout, I'm a graduate. With time, everything becomes clearer.
And you know, even on that, we have to talk about social media.
Yes.
And I feel, especially with our generation, pressure in our social media. Like the number of relationships that have, you know, capsized because of social media. Huyu anapelekwa huku, mbona mimi sipelekwi? You know, even career-wise. And just people to understand that sometimes what you see might not really be the reality, because nobody really, I've never really seen anyone go on Instagram and say, I'm going to post the worst bits of my life.
Kila mtu post zile vitu poa.
Ile siku hata you're in the crib, you know, umevaa ile t-shirt ya promotion, ume Netflix and chill, you've probably even not taken a shower for like a whole day. That's the day you're putting a picture. Ile ulikuwa kwa event like a few years ago. So sometimes people really need to understand that everybody's fronting most of the time, and especially on social media. And okay, can we talk about fear? Because we cannot talk about dreams without bringing fear into this conversation. Because in as much as we're saying you cannot have it you cannot have it all at the same time, I feel like it's also important to clarify that you can have it. Maybe not have it all, but you can have it. So then how do you start? How do you get rid of that fear and take that first step towards walking and building your dreams?
One of the things my mentors told me is that potential and talent don't have any place in the market. And that really made a lot of sense. You may be saying I have the potential, I can DJ, you know, I can sing, I can, but nobody is rewarding I can'ts. People are rewarding people who are doing things.
Yes, I am a DJ.
Yes, I'm a DJ.
I am a singer.
I'm already doing that. And sometimes being able to achieve all these things begins by taking the first step. You know, I remember when I was beginning my public speaking, I had a very sharp voice. I used to speak and people would tell me I'm speaking like a girl, right? But you know, I didn't give up on my dreams. I said, there's a way you work on your voice, there's a way you your diction. I'm from Moranga, so there's a way I had a problem with
Ara.
We have to applaud you.
Yes. So I had to begin by, you know, believing in myself, talking to myself in the mirror, and saying, you know what, Ken, assume you are speaking on a platform, you have 10 people listening to you. How do you begin? So for you to achieve all these things, you have to beat fear. I may not be able to figure it all out right now, but let me begin here. Let me take the first step. And the world rewards people who take the first step. But as long as you keep saying, you know, but then niliambiwa naweza imba, but then niliambiwa naweza fanya hivi, there is nowhere the market is going to appreciate you. But get doing something. And after some time you realize the dream that looked like it was such a big mountain, you've achieved it.
For sure.
I also think most of the time we fear because most of the things we want to do, circumstances don't look the way we would want them to be. So I think I'd challenge guys to start before you're ready, because some you might find.
I like that. Start before you're ready.
Yeah.
Because people wait to be ready to start.
Yes.
Because someone wants to start a YouTube channel, maybe or a vlog, but they're saying, I don't have this specific camera, I don't know a crew and all those things. There are people doing good videos with their phones and great content with their phones. So start before you're ready. Don't wait for all circumstances or all things that you need for that thing to be there. Start hizo zingine zitakupata tu kwa njia as you go.
And you know, this is very true. I came across a post on LinkedIn where some guy was saying, speaking to all young people who are looking for employment. And you know, right now with social media, they can get to anyone. You can even DM Uhuru Kenyatta if you want. But the agenda should not be to tell him, you know, I need money for rent, I can do anything. And I usually say, even for me, when people write to me and tell me I can do anything, I don't really pay them any mind.
Right.
I usually look for someone who either tells me, here's a link, I want to be a TV presenter, here's a link,
Be
check
specific.
me out. Are you understanding? Back to that thing where you were saying, don't wait to be ready to start, just start. So by the time you're coming to the table, and you know they say success really is opportunity meeting preparation.
Exactly.
So by the time that opportunity comes, that's not when you start saying, you know, I've always wanted to be a comedian. You have it. And it doesn't have to be as good as the, how can I say it, like the professionals per se, because that is a journey, right? So I think I want to just take a couple of questions here from people around this topic. So someone who is asking, how can I ditch toxic friends?
There is no clear way to say no other than just saying no. You can try to sugarcoat it, but if you realize this guy, we are not going anywhere with them, or this lady, just tell them, you know what, this is as far as it goes, and you just go your way. But when you try to sugarcoat it, tell them, you know, by the way, nikiangalia, no, that route never goes or gets you anywhere. When you realize it's time to say no, just say no, and get them gone, right? But now don't be in a business of telling everybody no. Also sit and analyze, because nobody is perfect.
You can't cut everyone off.
It takes a village.
Yes,
and your network is your net worth.
Exactly. There are people you might be having. One of the things you might have people above you who your mentors. You might have people below you. Those below you might not be 100%, but you're lifting them up every single day. They may be at 70%, but you realize I can work with them to lift them higher. But people who you are not going anywhere with them, you know, just check out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you've had it. Thank you so much, Ken.
Thank you.
So some inspiring, you know, words right there, because this morning we were focusing on you can have it all, but just not at the same time. I hope that you've been inspired by that word. But right now it's time for a very quick break. When we come back, still more to come here on Full Circle.